Blog Talk Radio.
Are you ready to take a bite out of the competition? Are you looking for ideas to make your business better? Welcome to the Core Business Show with Tim Jacquet,
sponsored by Apple Capital Group.
At the core of every successful business, you'll find people making a difference. And with each episode of the Core Business Show, we talk with those people, examine those ideas, and explore the strategies that make them special. Now, the host of the Core Business Show, Tim Jacquet.
Good morning and welcome to another edition of the Core Business Show with Tim Jacquet. I'm your host. Today I'm going to talk about small business self-assessment quiz, 7 questions to ask yourself. So I'm going to go ahead and dive straight into the broadcast. Again, small business self-assessment quiz, and these are 7 questions you need to answer yourself. Number 1, and I'm going to name all 7 first, and we can talk about each one. The first one is marketing. The second one is social media. The third one is cultural. Fourth one is brand. The fifth one is operations. The sixth one is innovation. The 7th is strategic planning. Those are the basic 7s. So let's kind of dive into it. It's kind of hard to self-assess yourself, and you really have to be really honest in self-assessing yourself. You got to know what your strengths are. You got to know what your weaknesses are. And if you take a sheet of paper and put all your weaknesses, to be honest with yourself, put all your strengths and be honest with yourself, that's the first start when you have to actually make your assessment. So kind of do that first. Then once you have that, then go into the 7 steps. Okay? Self-assess yourself, then go into those 7 steps. And at the end of this, I'm going to talk about entrepreneurship self-assessment as well that you can ask yourself. So let me start from the very beginning, the 7 questions you need to ask yourself. And the 7 questions you need to ask yourself is very simple. Number 1, marketing. When it comes to marketing, some people say, well, why don't you just use the latest and the greatest? Sometimes that's not necessarily. Use that what works with your system. If it works, use it. Continue to use it. Now, I'm not going to advise you to do a mail out. Sometimes mail outs are real effective if it's a postcard or if it's a personalized letter, as long as you don't send it out in huge bulk. But kind of self-assess when you do that, who is your market? How are you going to grab their attention with this envelope? It's not out of the question, but look at that as an option, okay? So in marketing, you have old tricks. Use your old tricks. Use your standbys, and then add a new element to there. Look at other marketing campaigns has been successful. We have a lot on these broadcasts. People make all types of suggestions. Just so far, we have 151 shows we have done really since January, and now we're doing 4 hours a day. So look at those. Look at Inc. Magazine, look at Entrepreneur, look under the marketing, and look at your marketing plan and look at a new marketing plan of what has been working with certain people, okay? Don't throw the old out, but kind of reinvent your old and look at the new. Number 2 I want to kind of talk about is your social media. You're dead in the water without having social media. Social media can add 2 points to your marketing plan. If you have a website, you need social media in order to engage people on your site. So you have to have Facebook, you have to have Twitter. Okay. I'll be honest with you, I'm still trying to understand Twitter, but I know how it works in our system and is very effective. But to communicate all day long on Twitter is really, really difficult. And I talked about a couple of items like Hootsuite that they will link all your accounts together, your Twitter, all your social media accounts, Twitter, if it's Facebook, and you're going to use one email and monitor on one system. And Hootsuite is like $5 a month, which is worth it because you can time things out for an entire year if you're trying to post articles on your blog. So kind of keep that in mind as well. YourBuzz is another hot social media tool. Also, Social Bro is another one. Crowd Booster, CROWD, Booster is another one. So keep that part of your marketing plan as well. Compare your traditional and your social media marketing goals. Have you found your voice? I'm going to always leave that there. Okay, the next ones are cultural. Cultural was really if your space, your environment. Either you work from home or you work in a small office, you work in a large business. What is the culture? Are you casual? Are you traditional? Or you work 12 or 13 hours a day in the wild, wild west and you're the creative mind? Find out what is your culture and make it engaging, make it fun, make it a fun place to work. The best businesses have a synergy and integrity between the culture and the brand. Your culture and the brand. Number 4, let's go about your brand. What people think about your brand, ask them. Okay. What they think about your company, ask them. Part of social media, what's so good about it, is helping you to build your brand. It's all about brand development. So your brand, your company, your name, that is the biggest plus social media has that we couldn't do in the past. We had to do it slower. Now you have a fast pace to build your brand. Okay? So ask people what they think about yourself. Send polls out on a regular basis. Ask people what they think about your brand. Number 5, operations. How is your business run on a day-to-day basis? Is it efficient or is it effective? Do you treat your customers well or emails returned properly and professionally? What about returns? It's essential not to overlook your operations because your customers surely won't. Ask yourself how you do your daily operations. We had a guest on the show last week, and he runs a sound company. He's been in business for 28 years. And he said sometimes they had to take losses, but what happened, those losses for that customer become huge advantages because he has a customer that refers him, that respects him, that he will go to any lengths to get something done. And he made that money up over time. He said more than 7 times because it was a happy customer and he referred him because he fixed his problem. Okay? So keep that in mind. Innovation. It doesn't matter whether you work in a big or small business, great business, innovation is key. Or you're innovative or you're an outside-of-the-box thinker. Okay? Keep that in mind. Either way, new ideas are exciting, get people jazzercised, lead new leads to business opportunities, and just keep it asking yourself, are you an innovator? Are you going to lead the pack or are you going to follow the pack? Number 7, your strategic plan. You got to have a business plan and you got to have a strategic plan, which is essential. Business plan is going to give you your blueprint on how you're going to operate your business, but you got to have a really strategic plan when it comes to marketing and sales. You got to have a little bit more details how you're going to implement that. The best business continue to talk about their vision, their brand, their culture, and the rest put it down on paper. They strive to apply the lofty rhetoric of the real world by setting goals and committing to numbers. They're visionary leaders. Don't lose sight of the big picture, okay? So you need to ask yourself, are you a strategic player? I'm going to go to right now talk about the class I taught early part of the year. I was helping someone on, and it's called Entrepreneur Assessment Test. I got this from a seminar, and it is really, really great. The first question you should ask yourself is, what type am I? And here's the information. Are you to make your assessment as an entrepreneur? There are very basic 10 things it asks for. This is what you need to do. Okay? Number 1, are you a self-starter? Okay? A, if someone gets me started, I'm going all right. Number 2, I do things my own way. Nobody needs to tell me to keep going or to get going. C is easy does it. I don't put myself out until I have to. So the logical choice was actually B. I do things my own way. Nobody needs to tell me how to get going. Okay, number 2 talks about in your self-assessment, how do you feel about other people? Okay, most people bug me is A. B is I like people. I can get along with just about anybody. Then number C is I have enough friends. I don't need any more else. Okay, so the best one answer would be B. I like people. I can get along with people. I can go along with anybody. Okay, number 3 is, can you lead others? A, B, and C. A, I can get people to do things if I'm driven. Okay. B, I can get most people to go along with me without much difficulty. C, I usually let someone else do the things to keep it moving. Of course, you have to be B. I can get most people to go along with me without much difficulty. C, okay? Me, that was B. Number 4, can I take responsibility? Okay, think about that. Can you take responsibility? And number 5, how good an organizer are you? Okay, I'm just going to let you ask yourself this on a piece of paper. Okay, number 6, how good a good worker are you? Number 7, can you make decisions? Number 8, can people trust what I say? Number 9, can you stick with it? Number 10, can you keep records? So let me go back to all 10 of these entrepreneurship assessment tests. Are you a self-starter? How do you feel about other people? Can you lead others? Can you take responsibility? How good an organizer are you? How good a worker are you? Can you make decisions? Can people trust what you say? Can you stick with it? Can you keep records? Wow. Okay. I'm going to talk about regarding keeping records. You got to keep records. And it's easier today. Just get QuickBooks or something. Scan your documents. Believe it or not, one thing I've seen a lot of people, offices, when I did outside sales, I had to go different accounts, their desk is full of paper. And my suggestion today is get a very good copier scanner or get a heavy-duty scanner and scan all of those things, categorize them, and bookmark it in your Outlook so you need to know, hey, this is due by when, give me 5-day notice. And keep setting that notice until that job is complete. Scan everything to keep your desk clear if you don't have time to file. And filing, I hate filing. I mean, I love putting stacks together and get a sticky note and put it on top of it and have someone to file it, but not always can get that done. It'll sit there for a minute because I can't get people to do that every single day for me. If I have if I had an assistant, yes, I get the assistant to do it every single day. But that's not a case for a one-man or two-man operation. But it's easy for me to take a document and punch that scans it front and back. It was just a regular sheet, 8x11 sheet of paper, and I have that. And it's a lot easier to manage bills that way, but important documents that way or notices, and then bookmark them in my Outlook until it gets resolved. And that's the easier way to keep things or keep tasks going than versus shifting papers and moving things like that. So anyway, those are the tips I have today. I was keeping it really, really simple. So if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to give me a call, 866-611-7457, Tim with the Core Business Show. Before we leave, I'm going to play an ad from our sponsor, Apple Capital Group, and then we will close with closing comments.
You're listening to the Core Business Show, sponsored by Apple Capital Group. Apple Capital Group in Jacksonville, Florida, is a commercial lender that specializes in asset-based loans, equipment leasing and financing, invoice financing, commercial real estate loans, and asset-based financing in the U.S. and Canada. Apple Capital Group is a direct lender that lends on their private equity investment portfolio. 90% of most loans are decided within 2 hours, and vendor funding within 24 hours after documents are completed, with a one-page application. No slow no's, just a quick decision and a fast yes. To get more information about lending from Apple Capital Group, call 866-611-7457. That's 866-611-7457 to speak with one of our loan specialists. Or visit us right now at applecapitalgroup.com. Welcome back to the Core. Once again, here's Tim Jacquet.
Okay, I'm back with you again. On every Monday, we will do a series called the ABCs of Business. And that will be just self-assessment. We're going to be to it for the first 30 minutes of every Monday at this time, 9 o'clock Central, which is 8 o'clock Mountain Time, also probably 10 o'clock Eastern. And we're going to do the ABCs of Business, real short articles, probably like 15 minutes to 30 minutes, and talk about a certain topic. So let me go ahead and recap real quick about your self-assessment. Wow, it's a Tragic Monday here today. Okay, here are the 7: marketing, social media, cultural, which cultural will refer to how you operate your business. You're a one-man show, of course. Someone have a culture, but you just have a culture of one, but you still have a culture there. Also, how people feel about your brand, your operations, your innovation. 6 and 7 is strategic plan. So let me recap again. Number 1, your marketing. Use your ideas. Use the programs that works for you for marketing. But also look at some new ones that seem to work with certain people. We have a lot of broadcasts on marketing. Take a listen to those and how these consultants advise their people on marketing. Okay, number 2 is regarding social media. You must have social media that's help building your brand. You need to ask yourself, how are you doing on Twitter? How are you doing on Facebook? I would say probably get Hootsuite, HOOTSWITE. You can put your blog articles in there. You can post it for a whole year and not worry about it. And also you can connect all your social media together, like Twitter and Facebook and so forth, and make one post, and it will post to all of those sites. Your Buzz by American Express is another one. YOUR, BUZZ. Social Bro is another one. Take a look at. Crowd Booster that cost you. Social Bro, I think Social Bro is free, and also get TweetDeck as well. So take a look at those items. Again, let me recap. Hootsuite, HOOTSUITE. Look at Social Bro, and just like it sounds, Social Bro, BRO. Take a look at Your Buzz, YOUR, BUZ. Take a look at TweetDeck. Take a look at Crowd Booster, and that is another one. Okay, those are real good programs for you for social media. Examine your culture is number 3. Or do you have like an open door policy, or you find it engaging? Sometimes you need to keep fun and engaging, but serious attitude. Make sure they get their job done, but kind of keep it fun, keep them engaged. Also, number 4, of course, social media is building your brand. So keep your brand up and ask people what they think about the brand. Number 5, operations, how you run your business day to day. Is it effective? Is it efficient? Number 6, are you an innovator? Do you think outside the box? And do you have number 7, a strategic plan? And do you have a business plan? So you need to have a business plan that encompasses your whole operation, so you know how to measure that. And you need to have a strategic plan, how you're going to do it for sales and marketing and so forth. Okay. Then also talk about your entrepreneurship and those key areas of entrepreneurship. Let me go to that real quick in my notes. I had 10, how to assess your entrepreneurship assessment. 1, if you're a self-starter. Number 2, how do you feel about other people? Number 3, can you lead others? Number 4, can you be responsible? Number 5, how good an organizer are you? Number 6, how good a worker are you? Number 7, can you make a decision? Number 8, can people trust you and trust what you say? 9, can you stick with it? And number 10, can you keep records? I'm going to talk about something real quick regarding making a decision. I had a person who had several people who could not make decisions. And sometimes you just got to do it. You just have to make the decision, because as long as you prolong it and procrastinate, it gets worse. People lose respect for you. I had a person that was over a large, well-established organization, and he could not make the decision to save his life. He came from a privileged, wealthy family. He had money, but he could not make a decision. He had his own kid make his decision for him. So I'm not going to go in detail, fear that there'd be a sponsor in the future, whatever, but he couldn't make a decision. I've seen this, of course, across the board. Sometimes you just have to bite the bullet and make decisions, good or bad. Bad, learn from it, is good. You can at least see what the results are, and you don't have to procrastinate. Lastly, I like to keep out, if you like to advertise on the shows, we're getting a lot of traffic. Again, the first 3 days of this month, we didn't have a show on Tuesday, but we had a show on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. We have double our audience and listens in the first 3 days than the previous month. So people are listening. I appreciate that. I ask you, if you do go and listen to the show on iTunes, go and rate these shows so we can measure how effective they are. Also share them, Google Plus it. Please write a review on the show. If you'd like to be a sponsor, sponsorship is really nothing. I think it's like $2 a segment. You can't get that anywhere else. If you'd like to come on the show for free, you are able to come on the show, go ahead and just write me at info@Apple Capital Group. We're going to have a lot of shows that we're going to pre-record, as well have live shows that we're doing now. The rest of this month would be live shows. And in the month of June, we're going to pre-record half the shows and air live the second half of the hour. So we'll probably start a little bit earlier with pre-recorded shows, and probably around 11 o'clock when I get back in the office. 11 and the 12 o'clock show will be live. We are accepting all type of businesses. If you want to come on the show, just go ahead and email me, and we go from there. Again, it's free to be on the show. We'd like to hear your story, your good and bad and ugly. So anyway, last thing I wanted to kind of leave with you guys is setting goals. Make sure you set a goal. Make sure you have a vision. So anyway, everybody, thank you for listening to this program today. Again, that's self-assessment, small business self-assessment quiz, 7 questions to ask yourself. Thank you for listening. Tim Jacquet, your host. Listen to our next segment within the next 30 minutes. It's time how to find investors for your business. Everybody have a good day and take care. And thank you, of course, for listening.
Thank you for listening to the Core Business Show with Tim Jacquet. For a free quote on equipment leasing and financing, visit our website, applecapitalgroup.com. That's applecapitalgroup.com. And fill out the information to receive your free quote. We hope you'll join us for our next episode. And remember, you can always get to the Core via iTunes. You'll find all our previous episodes there. Thanks again for listening to the Core Business Show with Tim Jacquet.